What's up, guys? QME back again with another video. We've been gone for a bit, but we're back, hopping on Dragon Ball Z Taiketsu, hopping back into the tournament challenge. We got 3 characters left. We got Cell, Broly, and Boo. We're hoping that we unlock a character from doing it with Cell, and that's what it's going to be. We have to hit all the moves with him, all the supers. We also have to win, so that's what we're going to be doing. I want to go in and show the moves for Cell so we know what we have to hit. We have to do his first move, Tail Stab. We have to do uppercut Kamehameha wave, and we have to do super Kamehameha wave. So they didn't give him any type of energy field, and that's the only mistake they made. I love games where they give Cell energy field instead, so that's the only issue with that. But yeah, guys, we're gonna be hopping in, and hope you guys enjoy. Like, comment, subscribe, do all of that. Every single other character we've beaten tournament mode with, and they're here, so that's kind of what we're gonna be doing. And also, we're going to be talking about the movie Dragon Ball Superhero and why wasn't Cell Max, why was he nerfed? Why didn't he go into his final form? So we'll talk about that too as we start playing, but not too much. We're going to go into here and just have some conversation, man. Okay. So let's do it. Back down, back down. Okay. He's wasting no time. Back down. Back down. Oh, you have to be right next to him. Okay. Let's do that one more time. Like that tail type of thing, okay? Let's hit him. Back down. Okay. Hit him a little taunt, Yes, sir. Let's get him. Okay then. Hey! Oh, he hit him with the uppercut and the. Oh no, that's a cool move. I give respect to that. That's a cool move. Hold on, let's get him with this ultimate. For the one time, hit him with the ultimate with the super command man. Oh, hold up. Nah, Cell kind of good. Hold on, let me stop. They got Cell good in this game. Why they got Cell cooking up like that? Hold on. Hold on. Did they give him a full move set like this? They gave him a nice move set. I ain't gonna lie. Why they hit him with the nice move set with the uppercut? He the only dude with a full combo with the uppercut and the energy blast. And then they gave him a nice Kamehameha wave. This might be the best Kamehameha wave out of all the characters in this game. Like, this is definitely better than Goku's, definitely better than Gohan's. I'm surprised. They really got him cooking. And he has easy to do moves too. I'm surprised they gave him this. I'm actually kind of surprised. Oh, let's hit that one more time so y'all see what I'm talking about. Like, it's just smooth. It's smooth. He got the light show, like the light show he has before shooting it is way better than all the other characters. He has the best Kamehameha in this game. I say that confidently. But it's mostly because Goku's is not heat like that. Gohan's is not heat like that. And he said, I was really expecting more from you. I'm disappointed. Damn. So let's go into Dragon Ball Superhero movie, right? So basically what happened is we have Cell Max. We have, the main villains of it are Dr. Hedo, and then after you have Gamma 1, Gamma 2, and then you have that he was working on another android, which was going back and looking at the cell designs, and he makes his own cell, brings it back like an orange type of cell that he calls Cell Max. So there's no first form from him. He only gets a second form, and then after it just ends like that. It's a giant version of the second form. Now, I didn't know they were going to do that. A lot of people were upset that why do you have Cell, who is, one of people's favorite villains, and the talking that Cell does is very good. It's very clever. It's very interesting to hear Cell, you know what I mean, be able to talk. So it was weird to not have that, and it makes sense that people are like, why did they do that? What made them make that decision? And to me, I always figured that Cell was going to absorb Gamma 1 and Gamma 2 and turn into Perfect Cell Max. That's what I thought was going to happen. So I was really surprised that it didn't. And I think a lot of people were as well. Even though the movie was really good. And if I'm being honest, I think Superhero is definitely better than the Broly movie. To me, it was better. Like, I love Gogeta. I love fusions. I love Gogeta. I love Vegito. So if it's in terms of just characters, I do love Gogeta and Vegito better. And I love Broly as well. But in terms of the story and something fresh, I think definitely that, you know, that superhero did a better storytelling. It was way more people involved who got to be nice. It was way more happening. You got Piccolo with a little boost in strength, even though it's just from the Dragon Balls. It was cool that he got a boost in strength and was able to do something. That to me was very cool. So I thought it was tough that brought Orange Piccolo, then they gave him a giant Orange Piccolo. Piccolo, it makes sense. Piccolo was going giant from the beginning. You know what I mean? That was something he did all the way back in the tournament, and stuff like that. He used to be able to go giant. So him being able to do that in old Dragon Ball, it makes sense for them to bring it back and say, hey, why not just bring, perfect hurts does it not. So that's what he said. But it made sense to bring that back. Doing it with Cell was a little bit not a bad choice, but I just think it was like the same thing. He should have had that giant form. Then he should have absorbed both of the gammas and turned into his last form. That to me would have been the best decision for them, and it would have made it even better. But maybe they wanted to do something where maybe, at the time his favorite form was the second form. Maybe for some reason he just wanted it to be the second form. But I definitely feel like that was an element of the movie that they could have improved on. Everything was good, but if they had Cell absorb one or two of the gammas and turn into perfect, Cell Max, that would have been better. And Cell should have been talking. So those two elements are things where if they were to do that or include it, it would have definitely made the movie better. I think without that, rating wise, for a Dragon Ball Z movie, you know what I mean? And all the anime movies that they're making currently, I went to see Chainsaw Man. I went to see the last Demon Slayer movie, and they're really picking up with those. I'm not even going to lie to you, But I think that personally, where would I rank them? I think I would rank it probably a 7, 7.5. I think that's a fair place to put it because of those things that I think are missing. If they added those, I think it could have been an 8.5, to be honest with you. I think it could have been a really, really, really good game. And yeah, just to show you guys, I know how to do sky battles as well. Like, I've gotten way better at this game. I know how to do the majority of the things. And sky battles is the thing that, like, most people do not know how to do sky battle. But it took me some time. I not that I could do it 100 times in a row, but I do it pretty consistently. Like, if I want to do a sky battle, I could do one. You know, but yeah, that's basically like how I feel about it. I'm curious where you guys would rank, Dragon Ball Superhero. But for me, that's where I have to put it. Like, I think it's really good, but there were improvements that could have been made. Now, I want to also bring up, since I think it's better than the Broly movie, I want to talk about some of the things that I think the Broly movie didn't do well. So one of the things the Broly movie didn't do well is the history. So the history for Broly was not as good as the original Broly movie, which is why I had to rank it lower, because it wasn't a completely new story. It was a redesign of a story they already had. So the initial Broly movie, I think, was way better. Like, Broly's supposed to be dominant. He's supposed to be the monster. He's supposed to always be, you know what I mean? There's not much talking. Broly just bad at action. He hates Goku. He hates Vegeta. In this new one, the origin story is, they did some tweaks on it. They made it so that, Broly was not as mad, at Goku, Kakarot. He didn't have the same things, the same type of viciousness that he had. He was softened in a huge way. It showed that all of his anger was directed toward his father. And although a lot of it, was directed towards his father in the beginning, and he does kill his father, the thing is, like, this one made it that nobody else is responsible besides his father. Like, all the blame is to his father. He's not even upset at Kakarot or Vegeta. He just fights them because he's listening to his father and Frieza. But immediately it's like, oh, he's already, like, you know what I mean? There wasn't really the hatred factor there that you had from the original movie. It was more so, he's part of Frieza's story. The origin not as bad. But the fighting, of course, all the fighting sections of that are good. Every time a fusion comes out, I'm happy to see Gogeta, Vegito. They don't bring them out enough. I'm one of the people who wanted them to use the fusion bugs so that we could see Gogeta in Daima. I was surprised they had fusion bugs. He took some fusion bugs and he dropped all the fusion bugs and other bugs that he got. I was surprised that they didn't add that element, because it would have been a cool thing to have in Daima and it would have brought the ratings up. But I do understand it for sure. But yeah, I'm curious how you guys feel about that. For me, if I give superhero a 7.5, like I said, if they added the things that I think they should have added, I could have given it an 8.5. I would say the Broly movie, I'm gonna give it a 7. Sixes, I feel like sixes are too low, but I would give it a 7, and I'll say the original Broly movie, where it's like everybody's really boxing him. Like, he really fighting Gohan. He really fighting Goku. He really fighting everybody. This one, this Broly is Goku and Vegeta. Like, you're not really getting, enough Gohan. You're not really getting enough Trunks and stuff like that. So that's kind of, I prefer definitely the original Broly. Original Broly, I'm gonna say that I'm gonna give probably a 8 or 8.5. I feel like that's a great movie as well. It is one toned, with the anger, but it makes sense. Like, that was the first time we were seeing Broly. The origin story made complete sense. He was upset at his father, but he was upset and jealous at Kakarot the most. And then he was just trying to beat all the Saiyans, and he was the legendary Super Saiyan. You really felt like this is the legendary Super Saiyan. Vegeta was way more scared of Broly in the first movie, which made it really, really cool. The fact that you actually had, you know what I mean, Vegeta scared of him in a real way. You know what I mean? Because there's not that many people that Vegeta is that scared of. You know what I mean? It was Beerus, it was Frieza. Those were the people who he was very scared of. And then besides that, that was the next one was Broly. So I wanted to keep that in line, and they didn't have that same, thing with Vegeta. But I did like it as well. And then we're gonna get more content actually. There's supposed to be possibly another movie the next year or two. I'm surprised what they're gonna make that on. But yeah, we're getting a lot more anime movies. Oh, I talked about it too. I saw Chainsaw Man, and Demon Slayer movie. So Chainsaw Man, there's only 1 or 2 seasons. I think there's just 1 season. So that's an easy show that you can watch. But the movie was good. It was another story about one of those devils who like, they're mainly trying to get a gun devil, and this devil is called the bomb devil. It's good. You know what I mean? It's good. It's in the same tone of Chainsaw Man, but it's animated extremely well, and it takes some time to get started in a way that I would like. But once you get through, like, you know, the first hour, when it gets to that action, like, the action parts are very, very good in that Chainsaw Man movie. Very, very good. But I gotta give it to, Demon Slayer. Because Demon Slayer, that last movie, I haven't even watched all the movies. I gotta go back and watch them. Watch the rest of them. But that movie, start to finish, better. All the action, better. All the flashbacks, better. Like, it was just a better movie in terms of everything. You had so many fights going on, so many characters doing something and being useful. Even the foot soldiers are useful. Even the kids are useful. Like, everybody in Demon Slayer, there's a huge, huge, huge community of people and fighting in different fights that you get to experience. It's similar to Naruto. You know what I mean? In the early stages of Naruto, everybody is fighting. You know what I mean? There's not just Naruto and Sasuke fighting. There's 50 people fighting, and you have multiple fights going on at the same time. When Sasuke runs away from the village and you have all the people with the cursed marks going against all those fights, like, you have a lot of fights. You have that Choji fight, you have the Shikamaru fight, you have a Neji fight. You have so many good ones at the same time. So that's same thing with when they're fighting the Akatsuki. Like, you get so many good Akatsuki fights, and that's something I love about Naruto and things that have that big open world, because they do a great job of, hey, there's so much going on. There's a lot to be able to take in and experience. There's a lot of different fighting. It's not just based on a couple people. That's the issue that happens, with Dragon Ball as it becomes Z and as it becomes Super. Everybody else is just some random gag. As you get into Super, Dragon Ball Z, Krillin is a gag character, Tien's a gag character, Yamcha's a gag character, Master Roshi is a gag character, Chi-Chi is just his wife, but it's like a gag character. Trunks and Goten, who are kids, the kid versions are gag characters. You only got Gogeta in the Buu Saga, but almost every other time they're gag characters. If you're not Goku, Vegeta, or, Gohan, Piccolo is useful because Piccolo will give insight, he'll help, he'll be smart, he'll do things useful. But instead of them, like, Mr. Popo is a gag character. There's too many gag characters as you continue through Dragon Ball. And that's kind of the issue as it compares to other things. Naruto, so many people are useful. That's why especially love original Naruto above Shippuden, because you didn't know what to expect, and they had that the senses of you don't know how strong somebody is, which I like to experience in anime. Like when you're going and you're like, oh, Naruto and Sasuke are fighting the strongest people, but then you're like, no, you know who's stronger than them? Kakashi's stronger than them. Guy's stronger than them. Jiraiya's stronger than them. Itachi's stronger than them. Orochimaru's stronger than them. Like there's so many different people that are stronger than the main people. And it actually makes it like interesting and gives you times where you can introduce those characters and you still can gauge, I don't know how strong people are. Once it gets to the point where, oh, Naruto is a god. Everybody else is trash. Naruto's a god, everybody's trash. If you're not Naruto or Sasuke, you trash. You know what I mean? But they did a good version of keeping Gaia and Kakashi as well as, up towards the top of the mountain as well, close to those guys. But yeah, that's what I love about those types of stories, bro. I'm a real big fan of it. Although I did go up with Dragon Ball Z, when you go to the thing about Dragon Ball Z that makes it so connecting is that they do games better than any other anime company, and they're the most consistent with games out of any other anime company. So me growing up playing games, I could tell you about Naruto, but I've played Naruto has a good amount of games as well, but it's not close. You know what I mean? It's not close to the amount that Dragon Ball makes and still makes to this day. Every year or two, they have a new game. At least one new game every year or two. So Dragon Ball, I can bring up 10, 20, 30 games easily. If you want, you can play a new Dragon Ball Z game every single year. Naruto is second, probably has like 10, 15. One Piece, One Piece games for the most part do suck. One Piece Grand Adventure is actually probably my favorite one, and World Seeker. One Piece World Seeker on the Wii is an amazing game, and that's also a game that I consider playing on this channel because it's definitely one of the best ones of all time. You know, the last one they made for PS5, I thought it was going to be better. It was, it's playable, but it's not that good. World Seeker is the best One Piece game ever made. They had the best open world for stuff. Like that game is spectacular. And I never fully beat it and 100%ed it. So that's something I'm kind of considering. Is it World Seeker? No, I think no, not World Seeker. I'm trying to remember, bro. I gotta remember that it's not One Piece World Seeker. It's the one that was on Wii. I don't think that's called World Seeker. I think it's called something else. But if you guys remember what that One Piece game is, you can put that in the comments too. But that's the thing I considered doing. That game is heat. And playing through it and unlocking everything, it's actually hard. Like you actually might need to search how to build things because sometimes you have to make something to get past the part in the game. That is the best One Piece game ever made. Second, I have the Grand Battle game. The Grand Battle was very good, very fun. All of the ultimates are fun to use. So, if you guys are curious, that's the issue with One Piece. Barely any games. The games are not, for the most part, they're not good. They don't do a good job of making good games for the most part. But Dragon Ball Z, even though there's not as much, like there's a bunch of movies. That's also what Dragon Ball Z has over other stuff. They have like 20 movies. Most things do not have 20 movies the same way that Dragon Ball has. But Naruto has a lot of movies that people don't realize there's that many because Naruto movies are not as iconic as Dragon Ball movies. Dragon Ball movies are way better and Dragon Ball movies are canon. Naruto movies are not canon, so that they don't connect things from the movies between Naruto and the regular manga. So once you watch a Naruto movie and you see that there's no correlation at all, like it's just some random thing. We actually got through it, but when it's a random thing, like the Rainbow Rasengan from that snow movie, I gotta forget. Like, but if you guys search up Rainbow Rasengan with Naruto, that movie, great. Great movie. I remember watching as a kid. I might have been like 12, but that movie was so good. But no connection to the story. Dragon Ball does a better job. Like these people are, for the most part, they try to connect it, and they claim that they're all canon, so they're good things. Let me see, perfection. Cell had finally achieved Dr. Gero's dark dream of revenge. His master would be proud. Were he still alive, he wondered what he would do next. The Earth was no longer a challenge. He then realized Dr. Gero's true purpose for creating him. The destruction of the universe. Okay. He going for that universe, man. He going for that universe. He coming for Namek next. New Namek, all the universe. Hopefully we unlocked Broly or Boo. Let's see. We did not. I think I'm going to have to beat it again with Goku. I think so. Because there's weird things like that where they say beat it with everybody and then beat it with another character again. But yeah, bro, this is fun. I'm going to actually see here. Because it does tell me Broly Goku. I just want to see what it says here before I peace out on you guys. But what does it say about unlocking them? Let's see. Let's try to see. Oh, it's lower on. My bad, my guys. My bad. Okay, so Boo. You see Boo and Broly right here, right? Oh, so Broly's the last guy you get. Beat the tournament with every character, right? Then Goku if necessary. So, if I beat it with Goku again, I should get Boo. And then after I beat it with Boo, I get Broly. Meaning that I'm going to do that offline. Just get Goku, unlock Boo. Next video will be Boo. Last character you get, a movie character, Broly. So we have 2 more characters to do, Boo and Broly. Hope you guys have been enjoying this series. We got 2 more left to do before we've 100% done a video with every character in the game. So that's going to be exciting to do. Next video is going to be Boo. Hope you guys like this. There is a playlist if you want to see any other character on the screen right now. There's only 2 left, the 2 squares that are missing in the bottom left. But besides that, man, I am going to end up calling this a video. It's been already QME. You already know socials down below. And I'll catch y'all.